Audiobook Academy Biography presents Volodymyr Zelensky. It wasn't until the late 1990s that Volodymyr Zelensky co-founded a successful comedy troupe that he was able to make a name for himself. As president of Kvartal 95 Productions, he appeared in numerous sketch comedy shows and sitcoms based on the story of a teacher who unexpectedly becomes president. He subsequently launched a surprising presidential campaign in 2019 that culminated in a landslide win for him. COVID-19 pandemic concerns and Ukraine's long-standing conflict overshadowed his domestic successes. Following Russia's invasion of Ukraine in early 2022, Zelensky was thrown into the role of wartime president. Early life. He was born on January 25, 1978, in Kryvyi Rih, a Soviet-era industrial city in central Ukraine. Volodymyr Alexandrovich Zelensky is a Ukrainian actor. His father, a computer science professor, and mother, an engineer, spent 4 years in Mongolia before returning to Kryvyi Rih, where he was raised as a Jew. During the Soviet Union's disintegration in August 1991, a new era of instability was unleashed. Away from the gang violence that ravaged the city, Zelensky became interested in music and theater as well as sketch comedy competitions popularized by the Russian TV show KVN. It was in 1997 that Kvartal 95, his childhood neighborhood, was renamed as a comedy troupe. In 2000, Zelensky graduated from Kryvyi Rih National University with a law degree, although he had already decided to pursue a career in the arts. Studio Kvartal 95. In 2003, Zelensky and his colleagues established Studio Kvartal 95 after appearing on KVN on a regular basis. As a result of Evening Kvartal, which featured Zelensky's vulgar humor while simultaneously mocking political figures, the show became a huge hit. A star on the big screen, Zelensky has appeared in romantic comedies including No Love in the City and 8 First Dates since winning Ukrainian Dancing with the Stars in 2006. He also provided the voice of Paddington in the Ukrainian language version of the film, and in 2018 he directed his first feature film, Servant of the People, starring Zelensky as a high school teacher who runs for president and places his cronies in crucial government positions, was a huge hit for Studio Kvartal 95 beginning in 2015. Presidential run. Because of Zelensky's interest in politics, he founded the Servant of the People Party, which takes its name from a popular satirical TV show in which the actor played a high school teacher who becomes president. His announcement was made during the Evening Kvartal New Year's Eve broadcast of 2018-19. Immediately after, Zelensky began an unconventional campaign that included releasing personal videos and going on tour with his comedy group in place of the more typical methods of raising awareness. His anti-corruption campaign resonated with voters, who elected him in March 2019's first round over 39 other candidates. The incumbent Ukrainian president, Petro Poroshenko, was handily defeated on April 21 by the political rookie, who received 73% of the vote. Head of Ukraine. Zelensky's political fortunes continued 2 months after he called for early legislative elections during his swearing-in ceremony in May of 2019. When President Donald Trump instructed Zelensky to look into the Ukraine-related interests of political competitor Joe Biden and Biden's son Hunter during a phone call in July 2019, there was friction with an important international ally. Earlier this month, the United States began impeachment procedures against its president after a leak showed that the country had been withholding promised military financing while it conducted an inquiry. When Zelensky's great construction project began in March 2020, he focused on domestic issues. It was in the following year that the president made good on 2 of his promises, passing legislation permitting the private sale of farms and restricting the political influence of oligarchs, the country's wealthy and influential businesspeople and families. There was a lot of criticism against Zelensky at that point, due to the fact that he had handled the COVID-19 pandemic unevenly, had been unable to put an end to the 7-year conflict in eastern Ukraine caused by pro-Russian separatists, and had a tendency to elevate close personal friends to positions of power. Only 28% of Ukrainians approved of President Poroshenko's performance in a key poll conducted in November 2021. Invasion of Russia. Zelensky foresaw a potential disaster by the end of 2021, when tens of thousands of Russian soldiers would be stationed on the Ukrainian border. He then sought help from member countries of the North Atlantic Treaty Organization, NATO. During a television address on February 21, 2022, President Vladimir Putin criticized Ukraine's relationship with NATO and publicly recognized the eastern breakaway territories of former Soviet territory. After announcing a special military operation against Ukraine 3 days later, he declared war. His wartime leadership soon won him the admiration of the Russian people, who had before derided him for his political inexperience. On February 24, He addressed EU leaders with an impassioned speech in an effort to persuade their apprehensive colleagues to agree to levying strong penalties against Putin. Zelensky's bold recordings inciting civilians to fight back against the invading invaders made him an inspirational figure for his people. Family. During their time as students at Kryvyi Rih University, Olena Zelenska and Zelensky became acquainted. Zelenska, who studied architecture, followed Zelensky into the entertainment industry and worked as a writer for Kvartal 95. It was in 2003 that they got married. In July 2004, Alexandra was born and Kirilo was born the following year. Thank you for listening in Audiobook Academy. Don't forget to subscribe and smash that like button for more content like this. See you in next video.